Okay, sorry about that. I pressed the stop by accident. So this is the second part to the video because I'm not going back to do that over again. So where I left off was what in take two, the differences were how I had students acting out the different parts and made it a visual for everyone, but the international student that needs that because they don't know what traqueteo is, that it's a rattling sound. They don't know perhaps, and traqueteo, what I'm saying is that this, of course, it's in English, but the international student it's Spanish to them, it's Chinese to them, it's what it would be to us. That's how they hear it because they don't know this word. So this is just like a picture of perhaps how they would struggle to comprehend because of so many words that they would take longer to try to figure out. Students that explain in their own words. The notes that I had up the whole time while they were searching for the figurative language. This something that they can refer to. Preferably that it's handed out to them so that they can take their own notes on the side and they don't have to write at the same time that they're listening to you because it's too fast to capture the most important points. Also over here, I had the students strategically placed in a group and even assign a role and give them a heads up in which number that they're going to be called on to answer, and that helps them to it helps to relieve that pressure. It helps them to have some time to think about how they're going to articulate their answer, how they're going to pronounce the word. It helps them feel included, contributing, and it will foster more participation. Um, uh, and 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 by virtue let you know where they're at truly. Is it that they are not comprehending or they're just self-conscious about speaking out in class? So it just makes the class size smaller for them and less threatening so that they feel more comfortable, and you get to know them better as well. So that was that activity, just for you to try to answer these questions in both challenges and both takes to see how much, excuse me, how much clearer the picture can be for you when there's more multisensory going on for them. So moving on to how they benefit our school community. We already have an international community in our school, and it just brings out the strength of that. It gives it flavor. Promotes definitely better understanding of these diverse cultures, because just like they have their idea of Americans, we have our idea of the other side of the world, and Africa and Hispanic countries and all of that. This one's one of my favorites. Excuse me, it seasons class discussions. I mean, it really becomes rich, even in the ESL class, when uh, uh, our Brazilian students are referring to, their festivals and what a part of their culture that is, and what it really is, what it really signifies, not just what we see on TV. When our Nigerian student is talking about his, the what they usually eat, and then and how incredible it was that that he saw squirrels running around here in the wooded areas when that's what they eat over there. And we all just were fascinated by that. We couldn't believe that they ate squirrel over there. When the Chinese students share about their educational system and how completely different it is from ours, it is so fascinating, and it's just there. Waiting for you to foster that moment that is conducive to them sharing, which of course you have to know the student and see if they're ready to share or not, but it definitely seasons your class discussion. It prepares our students for the world in which they're going to work and raise their families, and a spirit of gratitude among student body, definitely. An integration goal. This is big because ultimately, international students really want American friendship. The problem is that sometimes they just gravitate towards their comfort zone, and either, students who speak their language or are also international students. And then our students have grown up with their friends, and they just have their tight circles. So I have some ideas. Um, for how you can help our American kids reciprocate friendship and open their circle, because honestly, they don't know how to do that. We can tell them, but they need the tools. They need to see it modeled. They need to we can tell them, but they're very nice to the international students. That's what they tell us, that they're very nice. They say hi, they're friendly, but then they go back to their tight group. So we can model that. We can model it in our classrooms with the groups that we set. We can model it like when we have those group of students are always hanging around us, and then we see the international student nearby, to include them and ask them their opinion, their insight, how they do it in their culture, those type of things. You have to model it for these kids because they truly don't know how to do it. They think that being friendly is enough. I love this quote by Dr. Howard Hendricks: "You cannot impart what you do not possess." So we need to model that. Um, this is just a little thing that I asked the students. They said, I said, "What do you want the teachers to know?" And they're like, "Well, that we really are smart," because they do take longer to comprehend, up to 3 times as long, according to their levels. And then this was an article. I have placed it in your boxes, that actually shows, I'm so sorry, actually shows how bilingualism expands and stimulates the mind and actually produces smarter brains. So it's extremely fascinating. And it is true. I mean, we have one of our Brazilian students. He actually speaks English, Portuguese, and understands quite a bit of Spanish. So that is not easy, and it takes quite a bit more brain power. So these kids are highly smart.